नामिने गुरुरस्तुते हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत् गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते तत्त्वकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये भक्त्या विधिना अपराधलक्ष्मी युक्तश्च कामादि तरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्रेयतां श्रेयतां नित्यं गियतां गियतां मुदा चिंततां चिंततां चैतन्य चैतामृतम्
Oturun darlan.
সাক্ষাতে না দেয় লেখা পরোক্ষে তো কৃপা দয়া কে বুঝিতে পারে চৈতন্য চন্দ্রের মায়া সার্বভৌম কাব্যমিশ্র দুই মহাশয় রাজারে প্রসাদ দেখি হইল বিস্ময় এই মত লীলা প্রভু কইল কতক্ষণ আপনি গায়েন নাচান নিজ ভক্তগণ এক এক মূর্তি প্রভু হন বহুমূর্তি কার্য অনুরূপ প্রভু প্রকাশ এই শক্তি प्रभु एक रूप को बहु जैसा कार्य है अनुरूप रूप धारण करते थोड़ा आगे लीला विषय प्रभु नहीं निजानुसंधान इच्छा जनी लीला शक्ति करे समाधान पूर्वे जैसे रसादी लीला कइल बृंदावने अलौकिक लीला कइल खरे खरे भक्तगण अनुभवे नहीं जाने आन श्री भागवत शास्त्र कहते प्रमाण यही मत महाप्रभु करे नित्य रजे करे नित्य रंगे हजाइल सब लोग प्रेमेर तरंगे यहाँ क्या बोला? भक्तगण अनु नहीं जाने आन, अन्य नहीं जानते। प्रमाण श्रीमद् भागवत शास्त्र। यही मत कृष्ण रथे आरोहण, जार आगे प्रभु नाचायित भक्तगण, तार आगे प्रभु नाचायित भक्त। आगे सुनो जगन्नाथेर गुंडिचा गमन, तार आगे प्रभु जैसे करिल नर्तन। এই মত কীর্তন প্রভু করিল কতক্ষণ, আপন উদ্যোগে নাচাইল ভক্তগণ। আপনি নাচিতে যাবে প্রভু হইল সাত সম্প্রদায় তবে একত্র করিল। শিবাস রামাই রঘু গোবিন্দ মুকুন্দ, হরিদাস গোবিন্দানন্দ মাধব গোবিন্দ। স্বরূপের সঙ্গে দিত এই নবজন, উদ্দণ্ড নৃত্য প্রভুর জবে হইল মন। এই 10 জন প্রভুর সঙ্গে গায় গায়, আর সব সম্প্রদায় চারিদিকে গায়। দণ্ডবত করি প্রভু জুড়ি 2 হাত, ঊর্ধ্বমুখে স্তুতি করে দেখি জগন্নাথ। नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्रह्मण हिताय जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ऐसा बोलते। ये श्लोक कहाँ का? विष्णु पुराण का। पुराण वेद को पूर्ण करते हैं, इसलिए पुराण। अगर ऐसा ना पढ़े तो कैसे समझेगा? पढ़ने से ही होगा नहीं, साधु संग करने पड़ेगा तभी समझेगा। साधु संग बगैर ये समझ नहीं सकता। जयति जयति देवो देवकी नंदनोषु, जयति जयति कृष्ण वृष्णिवंश प्रदीप। जयति जयति मेघ श्यामल कोमल, जयति जयति पृथ्वी धारुनाश मुकुंद। जयति जननी वासु देवकी जन्म बादो, जलवर परिषद गर्भीरस्यन्नघर्मा। इतना गाढ़े लैंग्वेज, इतना टेस्ट है कि समझना बड़ा मुश्किल। यहाँ क्या बोला? देवकी जन्म बादो, देवकी का पुत्र पे जन्म ग्रहण किया, एक प्रवाद है। जन्म ग्रहण किया बताए। जलवरो परिषद से गर्भीरस्यन्नघर्मा, स्थिरतर विलीनग्न सुस्मिता श्रीमुखेन व्रजपुर मुनितानां वर्धयन् कामदेव। फिर बताया, नाहं विप्रो न च नरपति, नापि वश्यो न शुद्धि, नाहं वर्णी न च गृहपति न वनस्पति, किन्तु प्रद्युम्न कपिल अखिल निखिल परमानंद पूर्णामृताब्धे गोपी भट्टु पद कमलोई दास दासानुदास। परिचय क्या दिया? जब तक ये बुद्धि ना हो तब तक ये समझ नहीं पाएगा। ना हम विप्र, मैं ब्राह्मण नहीं, न तो नरपति, राजा क्षत्रिय भी नहीं, वैश्य भी नहीं, शूद्र भी नहीं, सन्यासी वानप्रस्थी ये भी नहीं हो, ब्रह्मचारी गृहस्थ नहीं। कैसे नित्य करता है? ना चक्र का माफी घूमते हैं, अलाल चक्र। अलाल चक्र क्या होता है? जैसे घूमने से एक गोलाकार देखा जाता है और कुछ देखा जाता है, किसी माफी प्रभु को भी देखता नहीं, ऐसा ही नित्य करने लगा है। प्रभु मुझे प्रभु पासे बोले आचार्य करिया हुंकार हरि बोल बोले बार बार लोक निर्धारित करिल तीन मंडल प्रथम मंडले नित्या नंद महाबल काशीश्वर मुकुंद যত ভক্তগণ হাতাহাতি করিল দ্বিতীয় আগল বাহিরে প্রতাপ রুদ্র লইয়া পাত্রগণ মন্ডল হইয়া পড়ে লোক নিবারণ তিন বেড়া করে দিয়া। नित्यानंद काशीश्वर मुकुंदादि फिर प्रताप रुद्र अपना पात्रगण देवगत मंत्र हरिचंदने स्कंदे हस्त आलम्बिया प्रभुर नृत्य देखे राजा आविष्ट। हरिचंदन का अपने कांधा में हाथ रखकर महाराज प्रताप रुद्र कोई नृत्य देख रहा है। हेलो काले श्रीनिवास प्रेमाविष्टमान राजा लगे रही देखे प्रभुर नर्तन। राजा का सामने में श्रीनिवास, श्रीनिवास मतलब श्रीवास, ये प्रभु का नृत्य देखने लगा, आविष्ट होगा। राजा स्कंदे राजा लगे हरिचंदन देखे श्रीनिवास हस्ते तारे स्पर्शी करे और एक पास राजा का सामने में देखा कि श्रीनिवास वहाँ खड़ा है, तो उन्होंने एक तरफ कर देते नित्य बसे नित्यावेशे नित्य का आवेश में श्रीनिवास किछु ही ना जाने बार बार खेलते हो क्रोध हरिल मने चापड़ मारिया तारी करिल निवारण चापड़ खाइया क्रुद्ध हरिला हरिचंदन। बार बार ये सब माना करता है तो एक थप्पड़ लगा दिया। थप्पड़ खा के वो बार बार पढ़ने लगा। क्या पढ़ने लगा? भाग्यवान विरुद्ध হইয়া তারে কিছু चाहे बोली बारे अपने प्रकार विरुद्ध निकाल लेता है। गुस्सा करके कुछ कहने की इच्छा की तो महाराज प्रताप रुद्र उनको कहा, क्या कहा? भाग्यवान तुम्हें इहार हस्त स्पर्श पाता, हमार भाग्य नहीं तुम्हें किताब चौकीदार। तुम भाग्यवान शिवास पंडित का स्पर्श होने पाता है, हमारा भाग ऐसा नहीं है, मुझे मिला नहीं। प्रभुर नृत्य देखी लोके करिल चमत्कार, कन्या शुभ जगन्नाथे आनंद रथ शेर करिल आगे ना करे गमन, अनिवेश नित्य करे नित्य दर्शन। ऐसा दर्शन करते हैं, आंखों का निवेश नहीं है। ये जो पाता बार बार ऐसा ऐसा करता है वो नहीं करता। प्रतिमा के माफी स्थिर रहते हैं, रख कर जाता है। सुभद्रा बलरामेर हृदय उल्लास, नृत्य देखी दुई जना श्री मुखते हास। सुभद्रा बलराम भी नृत्य दर्शन करके उल्लसित होकर हंसते। उद्दंड नित्य प्रभु अद्भुत विकार, अष्ट शक्ति भाव उदय है समभाव। एक साथ में 8 भाग ये सब आ गया। संभव विवर्ण से कंपो सब एक साथ मांस ब्रण समारोह पुरोपित शिवमेर वृक्ष जन कंटक स्थित। जो शरीर के अंदर में रोग है ये खड़ा हो जाता है, शिमूल का पेड़ जैसे सारा तना उनमें एक एक दंतेर कंप देखिते लगे भय, लोके जाने दंत सब खुशियाँ पड़े। दांत भी ऐसा हिलने लगा, लोग समझते हैं कि दांत निकाल जाएगा। सर्वांगे प्रसन्न हुए ताते रक्तोद्गम, जज भव गदगद वचन। जो जगन्नाथ नहीं निकलता, जो ऐसा निकलता। जलजंत्र गरम जल से वहे अश्रु जल, आस पास लोग जब भीजी न सको, आंखों से इतना पानी निकलने लगा, ये सब आस पास को जितना आदमी था ते गीला हो गया। देह कांति गौर वर्ण देखिए ओजूर, प्रभु कांति देखी जनो मल्लिका पुष्प। प्रभु का कांति कैसे मल्लिका पुष्प का ऐसा हो। आज देह है अरुण वर्ण हो गया, लाल। कहू स्तंभ कहू प्रभु भूमिते लुटाए शुष्क कष्टमय ऐसा निकाला जाता है। लकड़ी का माटी, सूखा लकड़ी का माटी को कबू घूमे पुरी, कभी कबू सास वाली, ऐसा लगता है सास बंद। जहाँ देखी भक्तगुणी प्राण है, भक्तगण इसको देखकर एकदम ऐसा दुखी हुआ कि इनको प्राण चला जाता। प्रभु नेत्र नासाई जो मुखे पड़े अमृतेर धारा चंद्र बिंदे बहे जैसा, अमृत का धारा जैसे वो ये होता है, चंद्र का मुख में निकालता है। সেই ফেন লইয়া শুভানন্দ করিত পান, कृष्ण प्रेम रसिक महाभाग्यवान। शुभानंद उसको लेकर पान करते। यही मत तांडव नृत्य करिल कतक भाव विशेष प्रभु प्रवेशित मौत। तांडव नृत्य छाड़ी स्वरूपेर आज्ञा दिल, हृदय जानिया स्वरूप गाइते थाको। हृदयटा जानकर स्वरूप कीर्तन जाना। प्रभु का जो हृदय की बात स्वरूप दामोदर जानते हैं। क्या कीर्तन? सही तो प्राणनाथ पाएंगे। जहाँ लगे मदन दवने झूरी गेन, यही धुआ उच्चैश्वरी गाय दामोदर। आनंदे प्रभु मधुर नृत्य करें ईश्वर। धीरे धीरे जगन्नाथ करें गमन, आगे नृत्य करी चले सतीर नंदन। जगन्नाथ का रथ धीरे धीरे से ऐश करता और उससे आगे सतीनंदन गौर हरि। जगन्नाथे नेत्र दिया सबे नाचे गाय, कीर्तनिया सह प्रभु पाछे पाछे धाय। जगन्नाथे जय प्रभु मग्न प्रभु नयन हृदय, श्रीहस्त जुगे करे गीतेर अभिनय। गौर जोगी पाछे चले शाम है, गौर आगे चले शाम चले धीरे धीरे। यही मत गौर स्वामी जो है खेला खेली सरते सामने रखे गौर महापुरुष। नाचीते नाचीते प्रभु हरिदा भावंत कष्ट तुली शोक पड़े करी उत्पीसा। जो कौमार हर सएव चैत्र सभा, तेजन उन्मीलित लंबा लीला। में तथापि तत्र सुरत
Push the mic more that side.
देवा रुद्र से चेतसी तरुतरे चेतो समुत्कंठते। এই শ্লোক মহাপ্রভু করে বারবার, স্বরূপ বিনা অর্থ কেহ না जाने यार। এই जो श्लोक पढ़ा इनका अर्थ अकेला स्वरूप दामोदर जानते हैं और कोई नहीं जानते। এই শ্লোকের অর্থ বলতে করিয়াছি ব্যাখ্যা, শ্লোকের ভাবার্থ করি সংক্ষেপে। পূর্বে জয়ছে কুরুক্ষেত্রে সব গোপীগণ কৃষ্ণের দর্শন পাইয়া আনন্দিত মন। একদিনই কুরুক্ষেত্রের দর্শন পেয়ে জগন্নাথ দেখি প্রভু সে ভাব উঠিল, সেই ভাবাবিষ্ট হইয়া ধোয়া গাওয়াইল। অবশেষে রাধা কৃষ্ণে করে নিবেদন, সেই তুমি সেই আমি সেই নব সঙ্গম। তথাপি আমার মন হরে বৃন্দাবন, বৃন্দাবনে উদয় করাও আপন চরণ। सब कुछ है, लेकिन ये ना होने से, वृंदावन ना होने से हमारा सुख होता है। यह लोकारण्य दोष क्या, यह बहुत आदमी हाथी घोड़ा रथ, और कहा वृंदावन में पुष्पारण्य पिकोनाद सुनी, मयूर का आवाज, अरे सब वृंदावन। राज बेश संगे सब क्षत्रियगण, कहा गोपवेश संगे मुरली भगत। यहाँ राजा का सेनाधि क्षत्रियगण रहा, और वहाँ वृंदावन में मुरली भगत। ब्रजे तुम्हारे बढ़िया से सुख आस्वादन, সেই সুখ সমুদ্রে दिया नहीं एक कौन। यहाँ का जो सुख है ये वृंदावन का सुख का एक कौन भी नहीं, एक बूंद भी नहीं। আমার লইয়া পুনর্লিন করহ বৃন্দাবনে, তবে আমার মনোবাঞ্ছা হয়তো পুনরে। ভাগবতে আছে রয়েছে রাধিকা বচন, पूर्वे कहा सूत्र मध्य कोरियाती वर्णन। राधिका वचन जो है सिर्फ सूत्र से ही यह बताया, जैसे भागवत में सही भावाब से प्रभु पढ़े आर श्लोक, यही सब श्लोकेर अर्थ नहीं बुझे तो ये सब श्लोक का अर्थ लोग नहीं समझ। स्वरूप गोसाई जाने ना करे अर्थ स्वरूप गोसाई कोई लो से अर्थ बुझाए। जानता तो है स्वरूप दामोदर, लेकिन ये प्रकाश किया नहीं। रूप गोस्वामी आया, उन्होंने प्रकाश किया। स्वरूप संगे जार अर्थ करे आस्वादन, नित्य मध्य सही श्लोक करे पठन। आहुष्यते नलिना पदारविंदम योगेश्वरी हृदिविंद मगाध बोधई संसार कूप पतित करुणावलंबम गेहम जुषामपि मनसु दिया। अच्छा, इसका अर्थ क्या? ना अन्य हृदय मन মন মন বৃন্দাবন মনে মনে এক করি জানি, তাহা তোমার পদদ্বয় করা যদি উদয়, তবে তোমার পূর্ণ কৃপা। রণনাথ সুনাম সত্য নিবেদন, ব্রজ আমার সদন, তাহা তোমার সঙ্গ না পাইলে না রহে জীব। পূর্বে উদ্ধব দ্বারে এবে সাক্ষাৎ আমারে, যোগ জ্ঞানে করিলা উপায়। তুমি বিধবিধ কৃপাময়, জানো আমার হৃদয়, মোরে হইতে কহিতে না জুয়ায়। চিত্তকারী তোমা হইতে বিষয়ে চাই লাগাইতে, যত্ন করি নারী কারি বাড়ি। তারে ধ্যান শিক্ষা কর, লোক হাসাইয়া মন, স্থানাস্থান নাগর বিচারে। अभी इसको ही बोलो।
Maharaja was explaining that how during Rath Yatra time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was manifesting his 7 forms. Maharaj Pratapruddha, along with Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Sri Kashi Mishra, they were able to see the 7 forms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. यही मतो लीला प्रभु कैला कतोखन आपने गायन नाचान निज भक्तगण. In this way, Sriman Mahaprabhu, he manifested his pastime for long time. Sometimes he himself was singing and the devotees, they were dancing. कबू एक मूर्ति कबू हन बहु मूर्ति, कार्य अनुरूप प्रभु प्रकाशय शक्ति. Sometimes it was not only one time that he was manifesting his 7 forms. Sometimes he was having only one form, sometimes 7. Again he is having only one form, and then again he manifests his 7 forms also. So in this way, Karye Anurup Prabhu, whenever whatever kind of pastime was supposed to be manifested, he was manifesting that particular pastime. Leela Veshe Prabhur Nahi Nij Anusandhan. The time when he was performing many pastimes, even though one can see that he is doing only one thing. एक लीलाए प्रभु करे लीला 5-7. Even though it seemed that at one time he is performing only one pastime, but in reality in that one pastime he was manifesting many other pastimes also for different devotees. इच्छा जानी लीला शक्ति करे समाधान. And the time when he was manifesting pastimes, he himself was unaware that how many things he is performing in one time. Leela Shakti. She is the one who acts according to the need of the hour. Lord and his Shakti, they are non-different. Whatever is there in the heart of Lord, sometimes even though externally it may not manifest, but Leela Shakti knows that what she has to do. So she is the one who takes care of everything. पूर्वे जैसे रास आदि लीला कैला वृंदावने अलौकिक लीला गौर कैला खने खने. The way Krishna, he was performing his Ras Leela in Vrindavan, and in each and every moment he was dancing, expressing his heart, singing, many other things he was performing at the same time in Rasa Leela. In the same way, he manifested his pastime during Rath Yatra also. Bhaktagana anubhave nahi jane an. The way he was dancing, it was like alat chakra. Like if somebody takes a फुलझड़ी को क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में? Fire brand. So when he was like dancing, Krishna was dancing in Ras, or Sriman Mahaprabhu while he was dancing during Rath Yatra time, his dancing was so fast that it seems that it is like Alat Chakra. That even though he is not manifesting many forms and he himself, single person, is dancing, but still it was so fast that everybody feels that he is only with them and they don't realize that he is moving to other place also. Bhaktagana anubhave nahi jane an. Only the devotees, they can realize all these things, not anybody else. Shri Bhagavad Shastra Tahate Praman. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks that aprakrit vastu nahi prakrit gochar. That the transcendental personality is not conceivable by those who are not transcendental. Those whose senses or consciousness is mundane, they cannot conceive the transcendental personality or his pastimes. So that's why when Lord, he was manifesting many pastimes during his during this Rath Yatra festival, only those who were able to conceive him, they were able to do that, not everybody. এই মতো হাইলা কৃষ্ণের রথে আরোহণ, তার আগে প্রভু নাচাইলা ভক্তগণ. In this way, Lord Jagannath, he was sitting on his chariot, and Sriman Mahaprabhu along with his devotees, they were singing and dancing. आपनी नाचिते जबे प्रभुर मन हईला, सात संप्रदाय तबे एकत्र करिला. When a strong desire manifests in the heart of Sriman Mahaprabhu to dance himself, then what he did, he asked all the 7 groups to come together, and then all of them, they came at one place, and then Srivas Ramai Raghu, Govinda Mukund, हरिदास गोविंदानंद माधव गोविंद उदंड नित्य प्रभुर जबे हैला मन स्वरूपेर संगे दिला एई नव जन एई दश जन प्रभुर संगे गाय गाय आर सब संप्रदाय चारि दिखे गाय. So many devotees, they got together, those who can dance, those who can sing, those who can play on their mridangas, all these devotees, they got together. And Sriman Mahaprabhu, what he did, the very first thing he did when they got together, Dandavat Kari Prabhu, Jodi Dui Hath, Urdu Mukhe Stuti Kare Dekhi Jagannath. The very first thing Sriman Mahaprabhu did is that he folded both of his hands. Dandavat Kari. First he paid his Dandavat Pranam and then folded his hands. Urdu Mukhe Stuti Kare Dekhi Jagannath. And afterward he raised his head and started praying to Lord Jagannath. Namo Brahmanye Devaya Go Brahmane Hitaye Cha Jagat Hitaye Krishnaye Govindaye Namo Nama. Even though Srila Maharaja just touched the meaning of one shlok, he was just reading, but Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his Amrit Prabha Bhashya he mentions Namo Brahmanye Devaya, Brahmanye Dev, who is the master of all the Brahmins. Go Brahmanir Hit Swarup, a personality who is always thinking well-being of cows and Brahmanas. Jagater Mangal Swarup, who is all auspicious for each and every person of this world. Krishna Swarup, who is having his Krishna Swarup, who is known as Krishna. O Govind Swarup, or devotees call him Govinda also. I pay my obeisances, I pay my pranams to him. Srila Maharaj mentioned that this verse is from Vishnu Purana. And then he gave the meaning of Purana. What is the meaning of Purana? He mentioned that particular scripture by which Vedas get completed. Purna means complete, and by which scripture Vedas get completeness is known as Purana. And then Sriman Mahaprabhu, he chanted the another verse, Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanoso Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrishni Vansh Pradeepa Jayati Jayati Megha Shyamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bhar Nasho Mukunda. In this verse also Srila Maharaj touched the one word where Sriman Mahaprabhu is saying Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanoso, that even though Jayati Jan Nivaso Devaki Janmavado, from the next verse Srila Maharaj explained that Devaki Janmavado, these words like yesterday he was explaining Arsh Prayog, means the words of those personalities which cannot be given any kind of challenge or no question. So, Devaki Janmavado, Srila Shukdev Goswami or Srila Veda Vyasa, they have used this word Devaki Janmavado, who is Krishna, about whom there is one Pravad. Pravad means it is just like a saying in this material world without any confirmation. That's called Pravad. Devaki Janmavado means he is known as the son of Devaki, but in reality he is the son of Devaki or not, there is no proof. This is the word which has been used, Devaki Janmavado, that only it is been known as or spoken by some people that he is Krishna is the son of Devaki, but in reality there is no proof about it. And then Sriman Mahaprabhu, he chanted another verse, Naam Vipro Nacha Narpati, Napi Vaishyo Na Shudro, that I am not a Brahmin, not a Vaishya or Kshatriya or Shudra. I am not brahmachari, grihastha, vanprastha or sannyasi. This is not my real identity. Srila Maharaj mentioned, unless and until a person comes to this proper understanding that all these designations are having something to do with the body, or maybe something with subtle body, with mind, but these are not the identities of one's soul. That's why unless and until one comes to this understanding and gives up all these external, gross or subtle identifications, it is not possible for him to approach or having a proper service attitude for the service of the Lord. Then he gave his identity, that who am I? Gopi Bhartyor Pad Kamlayor Das Dasanudasa. This is my real identity. Eto padi punarapi karila pranam jod hate bhaktgan vande bhagavan. So in this way Sriman Mahaprabhu uttered these verses, and then again he paid his pranam, and all the devotees, those who were around him, they also paid their pranams to the Lord, means to Lord Jagannath. Prabhur Anugamane, because Sriman Mahaprabhu was performing his Dandavat Pranam, so that's why the devotees who were following his footsteps, they also paid their pranams to the Lord. Udandra Nitya Prabhu Karila Hunkar Chakra Brahmi Krame Jaiche Alat Akar. Now Sriman Mahaprabhu, he started his dancing. Korea Hunkar. First he made a very big sound, and then he started dancing. Nitya Prabhu Jaha Jaha Pade Padatal Sasagar Shail Mahi Kare Talmal. The time when Sriman Mahaprabhu, he was dancing, wherever he was stepping, what happened by his step, as soon as he used to change one step to another step, by this what happened? Sasagar Shail Mahi. Sasagar माने समुद्र,
समुद्र का साथ धरित्री.
सासागर शैल, शैल माने पर्वत और मही माने पृथ्वी. So the ocean as well as the hills, mountains and the earth itself, all these three things were shaking. The way he was dancing, his dancing was such that because he is known as Vishwambar, who is having three words in him. So the time when he was dancing, Sasagar, the ocean, the earth and the mountains, all were shaking. Stambh, Swed, Pulak, Ashru, Kamp, Vaivarne, Nana Bhave, Vivashta, Garv, Harsh, Dhanne. All the Asht Sattvic Vikar. Stambha, sometime Mahaprabhu, he was standing still. Sweda, he was perspiring. Pulak, sometime his hairs were standing at end. Ashru, sometime tears were flowing from his eyes. Kampa, sometime he was trembling. Vaivarne, sometime the complexion of his body was changing. Nana Bhave, Vivashta, he was manifesting so many different symptoms of prema that after each and every moment different things were happening. Garv, Harsh, Dhanne, sometime he was feeling pride, sometime he was feeling so much happiness, sometime Dhanne, he was feeling very humble. So in this way many symptoms manifested different times. Again the time came when all the symptoms manifested in one time also, and all the symptoms, they were having quarrel, argument or fighting among themselves that which one wanted to defeat the other one. आषाढ़ खाइया पड़े भूमि गड़ी जाए. Sometime he was falling on the ground in such a way that he was moving on the ground here and there. सुवर्ण पर्वत जैचे भूमि ते लोटाए. It was being felt by the devotees that a personality who is like molten gold, that molten gold personality is just moving himself in the earth, in the dust of that place. नित्यानंद प्रभु दुई हाथ प्रसारिया, प्रभु रे धरिते चाहे आशुपाश धाया. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he was always there to take care of Sriman Mahaprabhu. He was having his both hands open, and wherever Sriman Mahaprabhu was moving, he was always moving around him, so that Mahaprabhu should not get hurt. When he is falling down on the ground, then also Nityananda Prabhu hands are there. When he is going to fall down, then also his hands are there to protect him. So in this way, Sriman Nityananda Prabhu is always there. Prabhu pache bole acharye koriya hunkar, hari bol bale bar bar. Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he was also moving very close to Sriman Mahaprabhu, and continuously he was chanting with loud sound, hari bol लोक निवारिते हैला तीन मंडल, प्रथम मंडले नित्यानंद महाबल. So now what had happened, that many people are there in Rath Yatra. So to keep ordinary people away from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 3 different circles were made. And in the first circle there was Nityananda Prabhu along with, because he is very powerful, so he was there in the first group. Kashishwar Mukund Adi Jato Bhaktagan Hata Hati Kari Haila Dvite Avaran. And there were some devotees with Nityananda Prabhu in the first circle, and then the second circle was being made by holding the hands of each other. Kashishwar Pandit, Mukund, all these devotees, they had made the second circle. In that second circle there is Srivasa Pandit also. Bahire Pratap Rudra Laya Patragan. And in the third circle there is Maharaja Pratap Rudra, along with so many of his minister, assistant, and all these personalities with him in the third circle. Mandal Hayya Kare Lok Nivaran. So in this way they did not allow the ordinary people to come close to, but to speak of Sriman Mahaprabhu, even to the second or the first circle around Mahaprabhu. Hari Chandaner Skande Hast Alambiya, Prabhur Nitya Dekhe Raja Avishtu Bhaiya. When Sriman Mahaprabhu, he was dancing at that time, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he was seeing Sriman Mahaprabhu's dancing in such a way, he was so much absorbed in it that he forgot anything else, that who is around and what's happening. But he was completely absorbed in seeing Sriman Mahaprabhu's dancing, and how he was like moving or standing. He was having his hand on one of his minister's shoulder, whose name was Hari Chandan. Heno Kale Srinivas Prema Vishnuman Rajar Aage Rahi Dekhe Prabhur Nartan. At that time, only Sriman Mahaprabhu, he was dancing in between, and all other 3 circles devotees, they were just standing in the circle, making a circle and just standing. Srivasa Pandit, he was in the second group, second line, second circle, and he was just like Maharaj Pratap Rudra was just behind Srivasa Pandit. At that time, Srivasa Pandit, because he was also feeling so much prema in his heart, and the time when Mahaprabhu is moving with his dancing, so he was also moving his body again and again. So by this what had happened, that Hari Chandan, the minister of Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he felt that Maharaj Pratap Rudra is unable to see Sriman Mahaprabhu properly. So that's why he was touching the body of Srivas Pandit again and again, that don't move this side, don't move that side. So with his hand he was trying to stop Srivas Pandit to move from here to there. And then what happened? राजार आगे हरि चंदन देखे श्रीनिवास, हस्ते तार स्पर्शी कहे how ek pash. So again and again when he was asking Srivas Pandit to just stand at one side, don't move your body here and there. Nitya Vishe Srinivas kichu hi na jane, बार बार ठैले ते हो क्रोध हैला मने. So when Srivas Pandit, he was watching Mahaprabhu's dancing, so he was absorbed in that, and when Hari Chandan he was touching and saying something again and again, he got agitated by that. And then what happened? Teho krodh haila mane, anger came in his heart. Chapad Maria Tare Kaila Nivaran. At that time Srivas Pandit, what he did, that because Hari Chandan he was agitating him, so he slapped him. That don't try to tell, or don't try to touch me and tell me again and again I should not move. So by saying this he slapped him. Chapad Khaya Krudh Haila Hari Chandan. And as soon as Hari Chandan he got this slap, he also became angry because he is minister of the king. So he became angry. Krudh Haya Tare Kichu Chahe Boli Bare. He was in anger. In anger he also wanted to say something, some angry words to Srivas Pandit. Apani Pratap Rudra Nivarila Tare. But at that time what happened? That Maharaj Pratap Rudra, by seeing, by feeling that he is going to say something in anger, he immediately asked him to refrain from it. What he mentioned? Bhagyavan Tumi, O Hari Chandan, you are very very fortunate. Ihar hast sparsh paila, you are so fortunate that you got the touch of his hands. Amar bhagya nahi, tumi kritarth haila. I am not so fortunate. He will never touch my body by considering that I am king and I am impure. But he has touched your body directly or indirectly, somehow or other. So you are very fortunate. Tumi kritarth haila. By this you have become kritarth, means your life has become successful. You met with such a great good fortune. In this way, this pastime also happened during Rath Yatra. Srila Maharaj, while he was reading this, he mentioned one thing in between, that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he has mentioned the name of Srivas Pandit as Srinivas, not Srivas, Srinivas. But in reality, he wants to speak about Srivas, not about Srinivas. So this word Srinivas, even though he has used, but because it is Arsha Vakya, it cannot be untruth. So that's why Srivas and Srinivas is the one personality, not two personality. This is what devotee, they have to interpret themselves. It is not that he has to think about it, that they will get confused. प्रभुर नित्य देखी लोके हैला चमत्कार, अन्य आचुक जगन्नाथेर आनंद अपार. The way Sriman Mahaprabhu he was dancing, the way the devotees they were relishing, what to speak of them, even ordinary people were astonished. Then Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning what to speak of them. Even Lord Jagannath, he was astonished to see the dancing of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Rath sthir kaila aage na kare gaman. he himself stopped the rath purposely, means Jagannath. He purposely stopped his rath. He wanted to see that dancing more and more, feeling such a great bliss in his heart. Animesh netre kare nitya darshan. So Kaviraj Goswami here again he is using harsh word, that even though externally we may see that Lord Jagannath does not have, what do you call this?
Eyelids.
Eyelashes.
Eyelids. Eyelids.
Eyelashes. Externally eyelids are there. We see in the deity of Lord Jagannath. But eyelashes, even though externally we don't see, but he is seeing. And he is saying that at that time he was not even moving his eyelashes. Lord Jagannath. Animesh netre kare nitya darshan. With his open eyes, continuously, with great astonishness, he was seeing the dancing of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Then Kaviraj Goswami saying, what to speak of Jagannath? Subhadra, Balaramir Hridaya Ullas. Even the heart of Baldev Prabhu and Subhadra Devi were also having so much bliss. Nitya dekhi dui janar Shri Mukhete has. When they saw the dancing of Sriman Mahaprabhu, both of them, they were smiling and unable to stop themselves from that smile. They were laughing, smiling. Udand Nitya Prabhu Adbhut Vikar Ashta Satvik Bhav Ude Hai Samkal. All the symptoms of prema were manifesting in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mans Vran Sam Rom Vrind Pulakit Shimulir Vriksha Jeno Kantak Veshtit. Mans Vran Sam Rom Vrind Pulakit. All his pores were like so much open that all the hairs, it seemed like Shimulir Pray. Shimulir mane kanta.
शिमुल माने हो जाता गाय गाय एक सारा शरीर का हमारे लोगों को काटा.
So there is one tree which is known as Simuli, and what is the speciality of that tree? That in that tree there are many thorns come out, like we have so many hairs. In the same way, in that tree there are so many thorns are there. So all the hairs of Sriman Mahaprabhu in ecstasy, it was like shooted up in such a way, felt like thorns in the tree of Sumali. Shimuli. Ek ek danter kamp dekhite lage bhai. The time when his body was shaking, his body was shivering, all his teeth were also shivering. And each and every devotee who saw, they felt that one after another, all his teeth are going to fall soon. Sarvange prasved chute, kate rakto udgam. His body was perspiring, and sometimes not only the water was coming out, even the blood was coming out in the time when he was perspiring. Jaja gaga gad gad vachan. And his throat was choking, even though he wanted to call out the name of Lord Jagannath, but instead of Jagannath, he was only able to utter ja, ga, ga, nothing else. Jal yantra dhara jaiche bahe ashru jal. When the tears were flowing from his eyes, it was like the water coming out from the syringes. It was like that. Ash pashe lok jato bhijila sakal. The devotees who were around, whoever came at that time in front of his eyes, everybody was wet because of those tears which was coming out from the eyes of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Dehe Kanti, now one after another mentioning all these symptoms. देहे कांति गौर वर्ण देखिए अरुण कबू कांति देखी जेनो मल्लिका पुष्प सम. Even though the complexion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like molten gold, but sometime it was turning into Arun Varna, the kind of clothes Sriman Mahaprabhu used to wear, the same kind of complexion he was manifesting. And sometime his complexion was like the flower of Mallika, Mallika Pushpasam, which is 100% white like milk. So sometimes his body was turning into that kind of complexion. Kabhu Stambh, Kabhu Prabhu Bhumi te lotai. Sometime he was standing still and sometime he was rolling on the ground. Shushka Kasht Sampad Hast na chalai. The time when he was Stambha, means standing still. At that time, Shushka Kasht Sam, his hands, his feet and everything seems like his body is made out of dry wood. It is like Shushka Kasht Sampad Hast na chalai. His hands, his feet was not moving at all. Kabhu bhume pade, kabhu swash vaihin. Sometimes he is falling on the ground, and then devotees, when they want to touch him or want to wake him up, at that time they were feeling that he is not even breathing. Jahan dekhi bhakt ganer pran hai keen. By seeing that situation, the devotees, they felt like their life has gone. As soon as they see that he is not breathing, their life was going out from their body. Kabhu netre nasaye jal, mukhe pade fen, amriter dhara chandra bimbe bahe jain. Kabhu netre nasaye jal. Sometime from his nose, sometime from his eyes, water was coming out. Mukhe pade fen. Sometime फेन को क्या बोलते हैं? Foam was coming out from his mouth. Amriter dhara chandra bimbe bahe jain. It felt like that from moon. Amrit dhara means the nectar is coming out in the form of waves. Waves? No. From the Chandra beams. So in the same way, the fen, this form was coming from the mouth of Sriman Mahaprabhu. And what happened, that there was one devotee, Sei fen laya Shubhanand Kailapan. There was one devotee whose name was Shubhanand. What he did, he took the opportunity to take this form from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mouth and immediately swallowed it. He drank himself. Krishna Prem Rasit Teho Mahabhagyavan. Srila Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning, he is a Rasik Bhakta. He knows that what one has to do when somebody is manifesting this symptom of prema. So that's why he is very, very fortunate, Mahabhagyavan. In this way, Sriman Mahaprabhu performed his Tandav Nitya. Tandav Nitya means in which each and every person, each and everything, whatever was in contact, each and everything was feeling such a great bliss. Bhav Visheshe Prabhu Praveshila Man. At that time, Sriman Mahaprabhu's mind, the heart, entered into something which was very deep, and he stopped dancing. And then Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, who knew his heart very well, that now it's your part, you can do what you are supposed to do. In this way, as soon as he got the indication from Sriman Mahaprabhu, he started singing by knowing the heart of Mahaprabhu. Sei to paran nath painu, jahan lagi madana dahane churi genu. That today I met with that personality who is my life and soul, for whom my heart always desires to serve. All these things and 100,000 of desires manifest in my heart to fulfill his desires. That personality has appeared today in front of us. ei dhua uच्च sware gaye Damodar Anande Madhur Nitya Karan Ishwar. When Damodar, Sri Sarup Damodar Goswami, he was singing this loudly. At that time, Sriman Mahaprabhu, he was again dancing, but now very swiftly, softly. Srila Maharaj, even he read little bit further, but I think it's very late for Srila Maharaj to sit now, so we will continue tomorrow.
Sri Satchinandana Gaur Hari Hari Bol.